So everybody is very upbeat today because it's a new year.
Yeah.
We were discussing,
Yes.
and everybody is wishing each other happy new year.
Yeah.
Nobody want a sad new year, that's for sure,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes.
But there's a verse, it shows the moment you go for happiness, sadness already follows.
Yeah.
7942, is it?
7742.
See here, this is what it is, the material world. See here, this verse. Sukhaya dukha mokshaya sankalpaya karminaha sarapni apnotiha sudukam anihaya sukha vrataha. You want to read?
Yeah. In,
Anyone want to read?
yeah. Yeah. In this material world, every materialist desires to achieve happiness and diminishes distress. Therefore, he acts accordingly. Actually, however, one is happy as long as one does not endeavor for happiness. As soon as one begins his activities for happiness, his conditions of distress begin.
See this point. So actually, people do not know what is actually happiness. They classify happiness, of course, we're talking about materially, and there's three ways actually. One, to get a good, I think, family life. Huh? The thing
Yeah,
is, this family business will give a lot of happiness. Yes?
yeah.
Yeah?
Sri Prabhuda said, accepting the roles of male and female in human society, the conditioned souls unite in a sexual relationships. Thus, they constantly make material endeavors to eliminate their unhappiness and unlimitedly increase their pleasure. But one should see that they inevitably achieve exactly the opposite result. In other words, their happiness inevitably vanishes, and as they grow older, their material discomfort increases.
See this point? Hmm? So they think that by having a very, what we say, wonderful family, wife, children, etc., they will become happy. But this is not valid.
So inevitably vanishes. That means it will sure to vanish. No?
Many people in Kali Yuga, broken homes, huh?
Yeah.
They have unwed mothers, divorced families. It's very painful. This social program is so devastating that it is a phenomena now. Practically out of 10 marriages, I think more than 7 end up in divorces. People are into second relationship, third relationship, and so on and so on and so on. So, in other words, family life is so-called source of happiness. I think it's also the same point when illustrated or explained by in 429.
53.
You can see how he's explaining this point.
Fifty-three.
You want to read this point?
Yeah. My dear king, the woman is very attractive in the beginning, but in the end very disturbing. It's exactly like the flower, which is attractive
The
in the
end, very
beginning.
disturbing, is exactly like the flower, which is attractive in the beginning but disturbing in the end. The living entity is entangled with lusty desires and he enjoys sex, just as one enjoys pleasure from his tongue and to his genitals. And in this way, the living entity considers himself very happy in family life. United with his wife, he always remains absorbed in such thoughts. He feels great pleasure in hearing the talks of his wives and children, which are like the sweet humming of bumblebees that collect honey from flower to flower. He forgets everything else in the passing of day and night. He does not see the gradual diminishing of his life from behind. Just try to understand this. You are in a precarious position in your created life.
You understand this? Yes. Hmm?
Yeah, you are in a precarious position and are threatened from all sides. Yeah.
In this form of life, men and women unite for the sensual pleasure of sex, but by actual experience, we have observed that none of them are happy. Therefore, seeing the contrary results, I have hoped to explain this to you.
I know you see, it is not actually It is like you are caught in a shackles. See here in this verse,
My dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments are, and desires remain thieves. Their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain foot shackles.
does it sound like happiness? Huh? Does it?
No, Prabhu.
That's why among the three orders, four ashrams, only one is allowed to associate with women, no? Correct? Why not the other way? Three associate with women and only one not associate with women. Why? If it is so fantastic, why not the other way? Yes? Is it not? Common sense, you know. So of course, we're not uh, kind of saying it is bad, but it has to be applied in such a way that we can, make good use of a bad bargain. That's the whole idea. So first thing we had to get it clear that this is not the purpose of our human life, to be entangled with family, wife, children. Yeah? So the next thing that we try to seek happiness is wealth. Is wealth, is it not? Yes. Practically the whole world is saying that money will solve all his problems. Yeah? Hmm? You got to unmute him so he cannot. So we try for bucks now. That's our next, because money will buy me sense gratification, and I think money will solve all my problems. You know.
Wealth is a perpetual source of distress. It is most difficult to acquire, and it is virtual death for the soul. Therefore, what satisfaction does one actually gain from his wealth? Similarly, how can one enjoy any genuine happiness from from those things that are gained or maintained by one's hard-earned money, such as home, children, relatives, and domestic animals, since they are all temporary?
Yes. Hmm? Of course. I've also quoted this many times in this verse.
For humans, for human society, constantly thinking of how to earn money and apply it for sense gratification brings about the destruction of everyone's interest. When one becomes devoid of knowledge and devotional service, he enters into the species of life like those of trees and stones.
See, you understand? Hmm? Trying to get money, uh, it is the greatest destruction of one's self-interest, a perpetual death for the soul. When you die in this consciousness, you enter in the species of stones and trees. Hmm? Not only that, while even trying to acquire it, you also get 15 bad see these are 15 bad qualities
Including lies, duplicity, lust, anger, perplexity, pride, quarreling, envy, gambling, and intoxication are the 15 undesirable qualities that contaminate men and women. To them, one desiring to achieve the real benefit of life should therefore
so see another bad quality you learn how to duplicity correct. Hmm? Actually money should only be used for the service of the Lord. There's no other cause of service other than employed in the Lord's, for the Lord's use, so-called materialists.
the only proper fruit of acquired wealth is religiosity. Life that eventually matures into direct perception of their wealth simply for the advancement of their family situation. They fail to see that
See, source of happiness. Correct? Yes.
yes, Prabhu.
So you see how chasing after sex life you cannot be happy. Chasing after wealth also you cannot be happy. So then what the next thing we are talking about all these materialistic people. Next thing is what? Oh, let me go to heaven. At least I will be happy there. Yes, is the next solution. Correct? So they try to go to heaven. In heavenly planets.
One cannot find permanent happiness even on the heavenly planets. which one can attain in the next life by ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices. Even in material, Even in material heaven, the living entity is disturbed by rivalry with the equals and envy of those superior to him. And since one's residence in heaven is finished with the exhaustion of highest productive activities, the denizens of heaven are afflicted by fear, anticipating the destruction of his heavenly life. Thus, they resemble kings who, though enviously admired by ordinary citizens, are constantly harassed by enemy kings and who therefore never attain actual happiness.
Correct. Hmm? Correct. Cannot be happy with family, cannot be happy making money, cannot be happy trying to go to the heavenly planets. Yes. So what is the next source? No, I want to work. No, by working I will become happy. Yes, work is worship, they say.
Yeah, famous quote.
Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
The famous slogan, work is worship. So, they are telling very popular,
Hmm?
popular slogan, work is worship.
Who sloka?
Popular slogan, work is
Purple
worship.
sloka.
Although the that materialistic workers are often unhappy and only occasionally satisfied. When a person is always under the superior control of another, how can he expect any valuable results from his own fruitive actions?
Yes, correct.
Yes,
You go and work like an ass, cannot become happy also. His work is worship is some crazy philosophy. Yes, what do you say? Hmm?
yeah,
You see, then not only finish, it says here,
It is observed within the material world that sometimes even an intelligent person is not happy. Similarly, sometimes even a great fool is happy. The concept of becoming happy through through expertly performing material activities is simply a useless exhibition of one's egotism.
so you cannot become happy. Hmm? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm.
Even if people know how to achieve happiness and avoid unhappiness, they still do not know how to process how they should still do not know the process by which death will not be able to exert its power over them.
So even if you try to become happy, but death is another thing, no? Nobody is happy when death comes, no?
yeah,
Correct? Yes or not?
yes,
Death is not at all pleasing. And since everyone is exactly like a condemned man being led to the place of execution, what possible happiness can people derive from material objects or the sense gratification they provide?
Hmm? Yes.
such as promotion to heavenly planets for celestial enjoyment, is just both are polluted by jealousy, envy, decay, and death. There are many problems like crop disease, insects, plague, or drought. Similarly, the attempt to attain material happiness, either on Earth or on heavenly planets, is always fruitless because of innumerable obstacles.
So now you see, I have explained, even trying to work, going to heaven or going to circle, all these are producing adverse hmm? But if we go to Brahman, a place of misery, yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm? Ye anve arvindaksha vimukta maninas in this verse, no? Because they have not caught hold the lotus feet of Krishna, those people who are like big impersonalists, they fall down again. So there's no happiness. Anyway, this Brahmanda, happiness in the Brahmanda is hardly, equivalent to the happiness of yes. So you can see here in this verse,
For a devotee who enjoys the transcendental bliss, transcendental bliss has taken the shape of a great ocean. Being situated in the ocean, in that ocean, I now realize all other so-called happiness, including even Brahmananda, to be like the water contained in the footprint of a cock.
so you see even the Brahmana hmm?
This one, Prabhu, If Brahmananda, the bliss of merging in the Brahman effulgence, were multiplied 100 trillion times, it would still not equal the bliss of merging in the Brahman effulgence.
So where to get this happiness then? Hmm? Doing karma yoga, it doesn't, also have happiness. Going to Brahman also no. Trying to do all this mystic yogi also. Bhukti mukti siddhi kami sakala e santa. What is that?
In 149 CC Madhya 9.
Krishna Bhakta Niskama Atave Santa. Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakle Asanta. You want to read?
19149.
Because a devotee of Lord Krishna is desireless, he is peaceful. Fruitive workers desire something they cannot have peace. They are all lusty and cannot be peaceful.
Purport.
They desire something they cannot have peace. The peace formula is given by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 5:29. Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam Sarvalokam Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gnatva Mam Shantim Rachati. One who simply understands that throughout the entire universe, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and beneficiary of all kinds of sacrifices, penances, and austerities, which should be performed only to attain his devotional service. That Krishna is the supreme being and thus the proprietor of all material worlds, and that Krishna is the only friend who can actually do good to all living entities. Sukridam Sarvabhutanam. One who understands these three principles about Krishna immediately becomes desireless, Nishkama, and therefore peaceful. A Krishna Bhakta knows that his friend and protector in all respects is Krishna, who is able to do anything for his devotee. Krishna says, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. 931. O son of Kunti, O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Since Krishna gives his assurance, the devotee lives in Krishna and has no desire for personal benefit. The background for for the devotee is the all good himself. Why should the devotee aspire for something good for himself? His only business is to please the Supreme by rendering as much service as possible. A Krishna Bhakta has no desire for his own personal benefit. He is completely protected by the Supreme Avashya Rakshibhe Krishna Viswasa Palana. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that he is desireless because Krishna will give him protection in all circumstances. It is not that he expects any assistance from Krishna. He simply depends on Krishna just as a child depends on his parents. The child does not know how to expect service from his parents, but he is always protected nevertheless. This is called Nishkama, desirelessness. Although karmis, jnanis, and yogis fulfill their desire by performing various activities, they are never satisfied. A karmi may work very hard to acquire $1 million, but as soon as he gets $1 million, he desires another million. For the karmis, there is no end of desire. The more the karmi gets, the more he desires. The Danis cannot be desireless because their intelligence is unsound. They want to merge into the Brahman effulgence, but even though they may be raised to that platform, they cannot be satisfied there. There are many jnanis and sannyasis who, after taking sannyasa and given up the world as false, return to the world to engage into politics or philanthropy, or to open schools and hospitals. This means that they could not attain the real Brahma Satyam. They have to come down to the material platform to engage in philanthropic activity. Thus, they again cultivate desires, and when these desires are exhausted, they desire something different. Therefore, the Gnani cannot be Nishkama desireless, nor the yogis be desireless, for they desire yogic perfections in order to exhibit some magical feats and gain popularity. People gather around these yogis, and the yogis desire more and more adulation. Because because they misuse their mystic power, they fall down again to the material platform. It is not possible for them to become nishkama, desireless. The conclusion is that only the devotees who are simply satisfied in serving the Lord can actually become desireless. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says here, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama. Since the Krishna Bhakta, the devotee of Krishna, is satisfied with Krishna, there is no possibility of falling.
So you see how the person who is a jnani, bhukti mukti siddhi kami, uh, they all cannot become happy. Hmm? Unless he is a Krishna devotee, only he can become happy. Hmm? That we learn, no?
One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness, can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace?
Yes. Hmm? So now, how to get that happiness? Hmm?
Therefore, any person who seriously desires real happiness must seek a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. The qualification of the bona fide Guru is that he has realized the conclusions of the scriptures by deliberation and is able to convince others of these conclusions. Such great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead, leaving aside all material considerations, should be understood to be bona fide spiritual masters.
So now we are coming closer. Until we go to a bona fide spiritual master, we cannot become happy. Yes, you can become happy, we are not saying no, but you can become temporarily happy. But you cannot become happy all the time. Huh? Yes,
In the stage of perfection called trance or samadhi, one's mind is completely restrained from material mental activities by practice of yoga. This perfection is characterized by one's ability to see the self by the pure mind and to release and rejoice in the self. In that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental bliss, realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth, and upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken, even in the midst of great difficulty. This indeed is actual freedom from all miseries arising from material contact.
Hmm? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm. So if we come to Krishna consciousness, then even though there are many problems, you're not disturbed. You know? That's why this yogis,
An intelligent person does not take part in the source of misery, which are due to contact with material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. Material sen- the mystics derive unlimited transcendental pleasures from the absolute truth, and therefore the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is also known as Rama.
so happiness is not outside, it's inside. Hmm? That's why the yogis, the Ramante yoginam ante. Huh? You see?
Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme.
So we have to find happiness where to find it. Is within. Within means where? In the heart. And who's sitting in the heart? Hmm?
Krishna. Bhagavad.
Correct? Hmm. That's why it's explained here.
For learned, self-realized philosophers, I am the only object of worship and desired goal of life. The means for achieving that goal and the settled conclusion of knowledge of all knowledge. Indeed, because I am the cause of their happiness and their freedom from unhappiness. Such learned souls have no effective purpose or dear object in life except me. Those who have achieved complete perfection through philosophical and realized knowledge recognize my lotus feet to be the supreme transcendental object. Thus, the learned transcendentalist is most dear to me, and by his perfect knowledge, he maintains me in happiness.
Yes. Hmm? So you see how happiness means we have to go to the pure devotee and we have to serve him and he will reveal uh, the real happiness. Correct? Hmm? Yes.
O learned Uddhava, those who fix their consciousness on me, giving up all material desires, share with me a happiness that cannot possibly be experienced by those engaged in sense gratification.
Hmm?
One who does not desire anything within this material world, who has achieved peace by controlling his senses, whose consciousness is equal in all conditions, and whose mind is completely satisfied in me, finds only happiness wherever he goes.
Uh, and if you become Krishna conscious, you know, you don't have to endeavor, everything comes automatically,
Thus, because he is completely absorbed in thought of me, the devotee does not desire even the highest benediction obtainable in the upper planetary system, including Satyaloka. He does not desire the eight material perfections obtained from mystic yoga, nor does he desire to be elevated to the kingdom of God. Yet, even without desiring them, the devotee enjoys, even in this life, all the offered benedictions.
See, without any separate endeavor, the devotee gets all these material things that so-called everyone is chasing for happiness. Hmm? Yes.
Everything that can be achieved by fruitive activities, penance, knowledge, detachment, mystic yoga, charity, religious duties, and all other means of perfecting life is easily achieved by my devotee through loving service unto me. If somehow or the other my devotee desires promotion to heaven, liberation, or residence in my abode, he easily achieves such benedictions.
See, so material happiness comes automatically for a devotee, without much endeavor actually. Hmm? Yes.
Karmis are always anxious to accumulate wealth for their sense gratification, but for that purpose they must work very hard. Yet, even though they work hard, the results are not satisfying. Indeed, sometimes their work results are only in frustration, but devotees who have dedicated their lives to the service of the Lord can achieve substantial results without working very hard. These results exceeds these results exceed the devotees' expectations.
So you see how for a devotee, happiness comes from only one thing, how to just think of Krishna, you know? You understand? Hmm? So they don't want nothing else, Hmm?
The great endeavor one undergoes is executing the ordinary social and religious duties of the Varnashrama system. In performing austerities and in hearing from the Vedas culminates only in the achievement of mundane fame and appearance. But by respecting and attentively hearing the recitation of the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord, the husband of goddess of fortune, one can remember his lotus feet. Remembrance of Lord Krishna's lotus feet destroys everything inauspicious and awards the greatest the greatest good fortune. It purifies the heart and bestows devotion for the Supreme Soul, along with knowledge enriched with realization and renunciation.
So you see how the whole idea is to remember Krishna's lotus feet. But you become a devotee, everything is settled. A happiness that comes from associating with Krishna cannot be compared with anything else. Huh? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
So that's why chanting is also taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. Hmm? Very quickly you will get transcendental bliss just by chanting Krishna's name. I think we explained at length, correct?
Yeah.
And if you don't take shelter of Krishna, Krishna will destroy you. Because that's not like a threat. But after speaking so long, you still don't want to take shelter of Krishna, then what's the value of your brains? No?
As also the worship.
Hmm?
That whosoever not surrender, they will be destroyed. Do not surrender.
So, okay, any questions or comments on these points?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I'm a little tired. The whole night I was awake. Okay, give me questions to keep me awake.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Oh,
Yes, we keep hearing about surrendering to the lotus feet, Lord Krishna's lotus feet. But if you say that to someone, they are wondering, what does that mean? Because how can we get the lotus feet? How can we, what do we do? Are we actually visualizing the lotus feet, or does it mean surrendering to Krishna completely? What is the meaning of this?
It means that you start chanting Hare Krishna,
Yes.
as in this verse. You first do this program. In the beginning, there must be faith. Then one become interested in associating with pure devotees. Then one is initiated by a spiritual master and execute the regulatory principle under his orders. Thus one is free from unwanted habits and become firmly fixed in devotional service. Thereafter one develops taste and attachment. So when you develop this taste and attachment, then your attachment for the lotus feet will manifest. Understand?
Yes, yes.
First you have to
But,
understand Krishna's name. Ataha Krishna Nama Adi. Correct? In that verse, first we get attracted to hearing Krishna's name. Then Krishna's form, Krishna's pastimes, so many other things all will manifest one after the other. So chanting is very crucial. Because when you try to visualize the lotus feet of the Lord also, it may for a moment, Correct? Yes? Because our mind is not fixed on it, So for the lotus feet to manifest, as Prabhupada say, automatically, it is by your chanting in this program. You go through chanting, you clean your heart. And by and by, Krishna's name, form, all will come.
okay.
And that comes from, what is that verse? Ataha Sri Krishna Namadi.
17,136.
Huh?
17,136 Madhya.
See here? Krishna's name, form, qualities. Can you read this? Someone read.
Yeah, therefore, material senses cannot appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, and pastimes. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name and taste the remnants of the Lord's food, the tongue is purified and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is.
So it starts from chanting and taking Krishna Prasadam. And following a very strict sadhana program. Of course, the first thing is that you must be initiated, If you're not initiated, it's not going to happen. Understand?
Yes.
This is how it works. This is a system. So you get connected. Are you initiated already?
No.
Huh?
No.
How many years you have been chanting?
So long. Nearly 30 years.
Wow. Quite a long time, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Why you don't want to make the commitment to be a servant of Prabhupada?
I want to, but it always seems to be difficulties involved on my
pray?
part.
You pray to Prabhupada, no? Then
Mm,
this thing will happen.
yes.
Then once you get connected, then there's some kind of mystical change, Cannot
Yes.
cannot explain that, You can ask all those devotees who got initiated, Then
Yes.
their taste, their purification, all becomes very much what we say noticeable,
Mm,
Then yes, everything will come one after the other. Just now we read the verse, no? First is associating, correct? Then
yes.
you get initiated by the spiritual master, correct?
Mm,
Otherwise, you can try, you can put a big picture of Krishna's lotus feet, on your heart or a table or whatever. But he's going to be there. He will not be manifest in your heart, no?
yeah.
Understand? So this is the system. I cannot change it. Nobody can change. Yes?
No, you're right.
Sure you don't want to waste your life, right?
Yeah.
How old are you now?
Oh, 65.
Hmm. Same age as me. I'm also 65.
Yeah. Yeah.
What month are you born?
In January.
Hmm. You are my guru then. You're older than me.
No, not advanced like you.
No, you must desire now very strongly, Man proposed, God disposed, no?
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
So you desire strongly, then Krishna will make the arrangement. Then you'll see how your spiritual life will take off, Don't waste this life like this now.
No,
Hmm?
no, I don't want to. No.
You can ask, they are all here. What is your experience now you got initiated? Most of you got initiated here, or those who are initiated. What you feel when you got initiated and before you got initiated? Let's hear from them. Anyone want to explain this? Vishwamba?
Yeah, so initiation for me, I experience that it brings the devotional discipline also, and all this bad habit also is vanishes, and uh, and that the active, we know now the determination comes after initiation. Previously we are very fickle and fragile. We do not know what is really the aim of life. Even after we know, without initiation we are not so determined. As soon as there is a initiation, we feel more determined, and to achieve the goal of life, human form of life. So that gives us impetus, also inspiration, encouragement throughout our devotional journey to advance. So this happened to me, like after getting initiation, to bring some determination, seriousness, sincerity to advance, and yeah, that is the thing. Enthusiasm to do that. Previously, the missing it was, there was no determination, no enthusiasm. Yeah, even after we know that spiritual life is good, but real determination comes when really after getting initiation. That comes very fixed up. that culminate to the point of now fixed up, whatever it may be. I should not give up the Krishna consciousness. This is the only means to achieve happiness or go home, back to Godhead. Yeah, that is my experience that after getting initiated. Yeah.
Who else is in? What about you, Vimal?
First thing, after initiation, I lost the taste of all the mundane stuff. Um, Whatever, maybe watching movies, talking to people on mundane topics. All this is gone. I mean, I lost interest. Then my devotional service, came on a track, and then I found a real path. Before this, I was trying all kind of meditations, etc. But after getting initiated, I understood that somehow the feeling came in, and uh, everything gets cleared up uh, as the time goes, and then even though there are so many difficulties, before this, there was nothing. There is no big problems for us, but doing some kind of devotional activity will be very difficult. But now the only option, the understanding is that, yeah, first this, and after that whatever our personal things. So a lot of changes, and then, yeah, it is on the track right now. And then I just have, what I understand is I just have to follow the fellow disciples of Prabhupada and devotees who are my seniors, take guidance, and then just proceed. So that's, there is no confusion after initiation.
Who else? What about you, Palika?
I totally
What happened? She got.
echo is
Voice is breaking, mother.
She's very close to his mic. Maybe you should switch off your mic, Vimal.
I did. Oh, wait a second.
Now she'll be better. Right?
yeah. Hare Krishna.
Oh, she got echo.
Hope it's clear now. Hare Krishna first.
Yes.
Now my level of understanding about spiritual is different. Earlier I used to follow many demigods, and though after coming here also before initiation, though I hear or I read, I could not understand much. Later after taking the initiation, the level of understanding is different.
Hmm.
And as my Prabhu said, we have lost all interest about the entertainment. Like earlier, we used to watch movies sitting late night. Though we are tired, we used to watch movies. But I don't know how it has been changed. But we never forcefully stopped it. It went off like that. Now don't have interest at all. We are not, even though something comes up in the WhatsApp groups or some other videos also, we are not showing much interest. This
So
is all
it's,
happened to me after the initiation.
so you all got strength.
Sorry, Prabhu.
You got more strength
Yeah,
spiritually.
Prabhu. I got more strength, and though I have a younger baby around me, I used to chant, and I can attend classes. I can come to temple. This is all Prabhupada's mercy, which I can understand.
Very good. So you see, generally you can see there's a change in their spiritual pursuit. They became more enthusiastic, more determined. Hmm? Yes,
Yes, Prabhu. Yes,
I would say there's progress, is it not?
yes.
So this is the symptom, and you will come to a level where you will be able to see Krishna. Prabhupada said that.
Mm.
So it's very important. Hmm? Some people say that you don't require initiation, you know. They say the reading Prabhupada books is initiation, you know. Yes, have you heard that kind of a philosophy?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, I'm aware of that. Yes.
Hmm. So Prabhupada, if that is the case, why Satsvarupa asked him how to do initiation, particularly you're no longer here with us, what shall we do? He should say, no, those who read my book are initiated already. He would have said that, right? Didn't he?
No, he did not say.
He appointed representative to give initiation on his behalf. Correct?
Yeah.
So in other words, initiation is important. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu?
Yes.
Huh? Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much for your help. Thank you.
What do you think?
Thank you to all the devotees. Thank you.
Hmm. Okay, there's another question. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, this world is dukhalya, means full of miseries. But I can't understand that because sometimes we also experience happiness in this world. So, yes, we don't deny that. There's happiness in this world. What kind of happiness? Hmm? This is the kind of happiness that's in this material world. Huh?
That
You understand? Can you read this? Who asked me this question?
Yes, Prabhuji. That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects with and which appears like nectar at first but poison at the end is said to be of the nature of passion.
So this temporary happiness is very contaminating. Little bit of happiness and a lot of misery. Hmm?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, what about happiness in mode of goodness? Like after getting sun, one feels happy. It's in goodness.
Can you read this?
That which is in the beginning may just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization is said to be the happiness in the mode of goodness.
So
Yes.
happiness in spiritual life, initially it is very troublesome, very difficult. You understand? But in the end, it is full of bliss, unlimited bliss. You know?
Yes.
So which happiness you want?
In mode of goodness. This one.
Hmm.
Yes.
Right.
Mm.
So you want temporary happiness or permanent happiness? That's your choice.
Yes. Permanent happiness.
Hmm.
Yes.
Any other questions? Anybody else?
Prabhuji, is it correct that our means our disciplic succession is a siksha parampara, not diksha? So emphasis is more on siksha, not on diksha. Many people say like that and say that anyway Prabhupada is our siksha guru. So why to consider this diksha system? It is not much important. The siksha is important. Siksha gurus are important.
Either
Many
it's
people
Siksha or
say.
Diksha, you please chant your rounds and follow. Wake up in the morning, follow all these things. What's the big problem? Hmm?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Correct? Whether it's
Yes.
Siksha or Diksha, you still have to follow, right?
Yes. Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Now, where are you following? You're not
No.
following. So what's the use of you talking about Siksha and Diksha? I
Yes,
want to know.
Prabhuji.
Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I want to know. Why waste time? Huh? Tell me. Practically, you're not doing anything, and you want to go into integrity and wasting time. Correct? All
Yes.
these guys, they can always talk. Oh, Prabhupada is only Shiksha and Diksha. What's the big deal? Are you doing it or not? Are you following or not?
Mm.
Correct?
No, Prabhuji. Yes, yes.
Then what's the use?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hmm? You're not
Yes.
doing Mangalarti, you're not following the principles, you're not chanting. Then what is the use of this Shiksha and Diksha? The Prabhupada asked, who is disciple? Who is following? Prabhupada said. Who is following? Correct?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Correct? They are not following
Yes.
Prabhupada. Their gurus are not following Prabhupada. They have nothing to do with Prabhupada. So why they worry with Shiksha or Diksha? Nothing is working for the rascals, correct?
Prabhuji, they are saying that that diksha, giving diksha is just formality. Our disciplic succession is siksha parampara. So it's just formality. Whether a disciple of Prabhupada gives diksha or Ritvik gives diksha, it doesn't matter at all. They say like that.
They say like that, huh? Okay.
Yes.
If it's a formality, formality must not be done.
Yeah, it should be done.
Hmm?
Yes, it should be done,
So,
but it's just formality. It's just.
but formality is important, not going to school. Yeah, going to school, knowledge is important, but registration must be there, right?
Yes.
You don't get registered, how you going to get the knowledge?
Mm.
Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, yes, correct.
Huh?
Yes, yes, correct, Prabhuji.
Nonsense, these people. Oh, Prabhupada is just a Shiksha Guru only. So Diksha you take from some guy who has even disobeyed Prabhupada. How he can be connected to Prabhupada in the first place? Huh?
Mm.
Tell me.
Yes.
Hmm? This is
Yes, Prabhuji.
all trying to minimize the position of Prabhupada. And for this, these rascals are going to hell. That's clear. Yes?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, but one who is sincerely following that guru means he's a Diksha Guru, then what happens to him? He
You
is
will go.
sincere in his practice.
If you're sincere, you will develop love for Krishna.
Then won't he will go back home back to order?
That is
There
part
are
and
so.
parcel of loving God. You understand? A person who's loving God is not aspiring to go back to Godhead. He simply wants to serve Krishna. You understand?
Yes.
And suppose Krishna sent him to hell, he also accepts it. He doesn't care. You understand this point?
Yes, yes.
It's not that we are trying to get some benefit. No, I want to go back. I want to go back. There's still a
Uh,
desire. Ours is to simply serve and please Krishna. You understand? Whether we go back or not go back is irrelevant.
yes.
You follow?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hmm?
Yes, yes. Understood.
Hmm. You understand? You should not associate with these ISKCON people. If you do that, you're going to get all kind of contamination.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? They're minimizing Prabhupada, and that is the biggest offense. Huh?
Mm. Yes.
What?
Yes, yes. It's offense.
And if you offend a pure devotee, where you stand spiritually?
Mm.
Oh, Prabhupada is that's the Shiksha Guru. No, our Diksha Guru is more important. No. Understand?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
This become big offense. So be careful though.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Any other questions? Okay, I guess I will wish you all a very happy Krishna conscious year. I have discussed at length what happiness is all about.
The 1st January, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had left his body.
Mm,
1st January 1937.
1937. He was disgusted with his disciples. He was supposed to have stayed much, much longer. Prabhupada said. Hmm?
Yeah.
So similarly, we also don't preach Yeah, seriously, then will not be very much pleasing to Srila Prabhupada. Yes? Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu.
Correct. So please try. Hmm? So no more questions. I have to take leave. Hmm?
This is
Take
record.
rest.
Yeah. This is already recorded. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So thank you again for giving me a chance to be of some use to you.
This class should be given a title Password to Happiness. It is recorded. I will post tomorrow. Password to Happiness. 40 verses, 40, 45, almost 50 verses covering only one. 50 verses.
Don't think anybody will hear the class, but it's too boring.
No. So
Bring.
covered up. Everything is covered up. Everything covered up. What have
They want to be materially, entangled. That's their main pursuit in life. Immediate pleasure.
yeah.
Hmm. To get this real happiness, firstly you must get a bona fide guru. That's the main thing. Hmm? So we try to preach. That's our only objective. Hmm? So thank you again for encouraging me. All glories to all of you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.